Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Evangelist Nick Garrett channel, Truth First Christianity, separating the objective and factual from the subjective and traditional for the benefit of our faith. On the platforms at EvangelistNickG, our website, evangelistnickgarrett.com. Ladies and gentlemen, today I don't have a presentation for you. I have ideas that I want to express. They're not organized. Just something to make us all think about, and maybe I can get your ideas too in the comments or in direct message. So I'm thinking about, first, here's some background. There are more uncontacted tribes on this globe than I think most people realize. In our world, our civilization, we're technologically advanced and we have this vision of science that most of the globe has been discovered, flipped over. We kind of have an idea what's going on. Even a cursory study will show that to be not the case. Most of the ocean's not explored. Most of the vast landscapes, we haven't been there. Not everywhere on the globe is mapped. Not everywhere on the globe is known. We haven't trod everywhere. I'm thinking of the example of uncontacted tribes. There are 100 in the Amazon. It was the 1980s before the last Aboriginal tribe who had no idea about civilization was discovered in Australia. 84. Some of the tribes were discovered in the 1990s in the Amazon. Some are still being discovered today. The most prominent one that comes to mind is in the Bay of Bengal. It's called North Sentinel Islands. It's one of the Andaman Islands. And on North Sentinel, there's a group of people called the Sentinelese. And they have resisted attempts to make contact, colonize. There's a brutal history during the 1800s of people really kind of taking disease to them. Not a good history, but in recent history, in 2018, a missionary named David Chou went there attempting to bring Christ to them in his letters, a 17-page journal that he kept in the days while he was in a boat off the island, going in each day, right? They had proved hostile. People couldn't go on the island. Many had been killed. And in 2018, David's there, and he's trying to bring Christ to them because the devil, this is the last stronghold of the devil, is what he said. It's a group of 150 people who have no contact with civilization, who are living in unison with nature. And David Chou's evangelical words, they sat with me funny. I think if you were to compare the lifestyle of the North Sentinelese to the lifestyle of a modern civilized person, you would say, oh, well, the one where the person's in unison with nature is probably the more biblical one. That's probably what it was like when we were in the garden. But then you think, well, wait, we were cast out of the garden. That means the Sentinelese too. It was all of us then. It was only a small group of people. God had created humanity, and then he created a special man, Adamah. It's fascinating to think about. You have this island of people who are living like it's 6,000 years ago, and they're totally happy. They don't have anxiety. They don't have depression. They have a language. They have a word, a speech, a combination of sounds and what we would call primitive words identifying things. And we think we're going to save them with our anxiety and our depression and our secularism. And what would we do? Ask them to abandon it and create infrastructure. And if we didn't kill them all off with disease, you see, like, this isn't a bashing the Western ideology kind of thing. I'm a lover of Western ideology. Our whole world is built on it. But it's fascinating to think about this from an epistemological standpoint. David Chou, this missionary, is he right to go there and try to bring the gospel to these individuals? I mean, people tried before. The reason the Sentinelese don't want civilization there is by choice. They have a 200-year oral history of, hey, these people have given us disease. They stole a bunch of our people, killed a bunch of us off, and then gave us consolation prizes to try to make contact with us. It's a really interesting history. Check out the short video of it by Illuminati. I'll put the link in the description. It'll give you a little more insight to what I'm talking about. But even in the Amazon or anywhere else in the world, Australia, I mean, I even think that this idea of a Sasquatch is not some strange supernatural being or a monster. I think it's just another type of primitive human that's living in the uncharted wilderness. And you might go, well, that's crazy. That's unbelievable. Look, any person who reads books and is mildly educated knows that we don't know as much as we think we do, that humanity is not as far along as we think we do, as we think we are. Our sense of developing humanity seems to be bad for us. I can't look around and say I think it's better today than it was 100 years ago for anybody, right? I mean, I think once you throw God out of the mix and you develop an epistemology that's secular where there is no God and humanity is God, I mean, how many times does that story reoccur in Scripture? I mean, basically, we are the children of Cain, if you think about it. What was Cain? What did he do? He became a builder of cities, right? This is clearly an archetype for agrarian versus hunter-gatherer, or the one that lives with nature versus the one that conquers nature. It's a fascinating concept to think about. Maybe controversial, I don't know. But the question is, where do we stand in the context of undiscovered tribes? Do we have something to teach them, or do they have something to teach us? I thought it was funny. I read a climate scientist's analysis. I wonder about the people on North Sentinel. What do they make of their coral reefs going away? And did the monsoon tear their trees out of the ground and take their food? And did the native pigs that they eat there get run off? And I'm thinking, they didn't think any of that. To them, it's just the natural cycle of the world. We're the ones who run models and project danger and fear with it and use it to coerce money out of people, right? Environmentalism is what I have in mind. It's a terrible idea to say, we have to go in, catalog, tag in order to understand and protect them. They don't need your protection. They've been there untouched. They don't need us. They need us to leave them alone. We'll kill them with disease going around them before we'll help them. But I am fascinated, interested, and bothered by the theological questions around contact with these individuals. I mean, Christianity was used for hundreds of years to colonize. We're doing it to bring Christ to them. It just so happens that we're going to stay. It's different, though. I mean, maybe there was a time where it was truly giving a gift to take the infrastructure of civilization into a place. Maybe it was. But none of it, no matter how secularized we become, none of it will take away the concept of God and that God is in control and God is in charge. And we're doing the same thing that is repeated over and over again in the Bible, from Adam and Eve to their children's sin, to the Tower of Babel, to the children of Israel, to New Testament Christians. If we were alive 200 years ago, the concept of spreading Christianity to undiscovered people would be utterly fascinating, and we'd all be compelled to do it. The idea of doing it today, you feel almost like, no, it would be a sin to go tear those people up, kill them, and make them live the way we do. They're the ones living more of a godly life, even though they don't know the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. That's the hard part, is to think about. It's not so easy. I hope you're not here thinking you're going to get black and white answers for things, because the world exists in the gray. It's the gray that's interesting. It's the gray. Sometimes maybe there's not answers to these questions, but they're deep, complex questions. Anyway, It's interesting to me. If you want to support our work, you can visit our PayPal link. We also have Cashapp and Venmo. You can purchase a book from the Just Tell Me the Truth About Christianity series or get a novelty item like a t-shirt and cup. I appreciate your time, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to talking to you next time. God bless you, and may your work today bear fruit.